Hello, everybody. Welcome to Psalms 23 podcast. We're your host, my beautiful wife, Katie. Say hello.
Hi.
And me, Nick. We're going to do chapter 2 of John's Gospel. And when you, yeah, do you want to start off first?
I always start it off.
But do you have anything that you want to talk about? Do you want them to, if they want to, what happened the first podcast, do you want them to go back to the first one?
Oh
To,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Because this is episode 2 of walking through the Gospel of John.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen the first podcast, please watch that first. Then come over to watch the part 2, like chapter 2 of John's Gospel with Jesus turning water into wine, and clear up clean up the temple as well. We go the other parts next.
Yes.
You can take it all first, honey.
I always do.
But I can help this time.
Okay. If you don't
if I don't
choke
die first.
if you don't choke first. So in John chapter 2, there's a few things about John chapter 2 that are really cool. Like, first off, this was Jesus's first recorded miracle. It might not have necessarily been his first miracle, like ever in his life, but it was definitely the first recorded miracle.
Public.
Yeah, and even then, it wasn't fully public. But no. I think hold on, I need to find where it is. Okay, so hold on, I'm skimming through
the last chapter.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it, Jesus's birth in itself was a miracle. I mean, being conceived in the womb of a virgin. I mean, his birth in itself was a miracle. But anyways, so Jesus and his disciples are at this wedding.
Get off.
And we don't know what connection they had to the family. We don't know if they were family friends. We don't know if maybe
they were invited.
Well, I mean, obviously they were invited. But anyway, we don't know what ties Jesus could have had to this family. And we assume that it was Jesus who was tied to the family because his mother was also there. But anyway, so yes, this is like Jesus's first. It's kind of the miracle in itself was like half secret and half public, because although it was it happened in a public setting, nobody knew it was Jesus except for a small group of people. But anyways, yeah, I think like the reason I brought it up is I think in John chapter 1, his very first the very first time where he kind of hinted to somebody that he was more than just a mere human was when he met Nathaniel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously John the Baptist encounter too, with where the Holy Spirit ascending as a dove and landing on Jesus, because God told him like the person whom the Spirit rests on is my chosen one.
Wow.
And so anyways, Jesus tells Nathaniel, I saw you under the fig tree. Now mind you, Jesus was a human in one place at one particular time, but yet he was still able to see Nathaniel under the fig tree. Now, the rest of us, if somebody is not in the same room as us, we're not going to know what they're doing unless you have a baby monitor and you're watching them from our security camera or something like that. But you're not going to see them if they're not in the same area as you. So Jesus was hinting at his divinity. And Nathaniel caught on, and Nathaniel responds with, first off, he asks him, how do you know me? And Jesus replied, I could see you under the fig tree before Philip found you. Then Nathanael exclaimed, Rabbi, you are the Son of God, the King of Israel. And so he immediately recognizes Jesus as the Messiah. Because remember, before he had been told by Philip, we have found the Messiah, and he is Jesus from Nazareth. And then he's like, does anything good come out of Nazareth? So he already had been told prior that they had found the Messiah, but he probably was a bit skeptical until Jesus was like, "Hey, I wasn't with you,
But
but
I saw
but
you.
I could see you." And then he's like, "Okay, you're not just a regular guy
If someone did that in this generation, it's like I can see you underneath that fiction. I'm like, well, you have some superpowers,
or a
or
camera."
you're a camera somewhere behind me.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was the end of John chapter 1. And kind of when Jesus slowly started to reveal to people who he was. So now, again, back to the wedding. Jesus and his disciples and his mother are at a wedding. We don't know if it was a really big wedding where most of the village was invited. We don't know if he just had ties to the family. We really don't know, but Jesus was there anyway. And so, as this wedding is going on, everybody's having a good time, and Mister here is coughing up
Dying.
a hairball. No, but everybody's having a good time, and suddenly the wine runs out. Now, mind you, Jewish weddings in the first century lasted about a week. And so it was up to the groom's family to provide um the to host the wedding. And so you had to have enough food and enough wine to go the entire week. And it wasn't a small issue. And hold on, I'm skimming over here. Um yeah, so wine was a very serious part of a Jewish wedding. It was so important that running out of food or wine, in this case, the wine ran out. It could ruin a family's reputation or even have legal consequences. And so, um, they could be fined. Like, not only could their reputation as a family be destroyed, because if the groom was responsible for the groom and his family were responsible for the wedding festivities.
Really?
Yes. And so
That is cool.
um
A lot of water.
the groom was responsible for paying for everything in the wedding. And so running out of
Wine.
wine or food or anything like that would
Shame on.
automatically, yes, because it would make him seem like it would make him, it would almost be like
You want
if the food, no, like if the food or the wine ran out, it would immediately kind of like people would get the message, like, or they would make judgments basically that he could not provide for his bride. If he couldn't provide a wedding banquet, then he can't provide for his wife. So it would immediately shame the family, and it could ruin their reputation. Like, it was taken very, very seriously. And we kind of seem we're kind of like, that's kind of silly. If you're at a party and the juice boxes run out, it's not a catastrophe. But back in this day, I mean,
it's serious.
yeah, and it could even result in fines. Like they could have legal consequences.
That's crazy.
Because providing enough food and wine at a wedding was a legal social duty, not just a nice gesture. So literally what could happen is the not only would running out of food or wine be terribly embarrassing, um but hold on, I'm skimming. through this real quick. It's like actually to the point where like so if the food or the wine went out, people could actually literally like and like they could literally sue the family, or like the family could sue the groom,
That's
because
weird.
not only would it be incredibly embarrassing for the family, but it could ruin their reputation. So like the groom could literally be fined legally. Like they could literally like ancient day sue him for not providing enough for the family and the wedding guests. So um anyways, so trying to get back on track here as you're over there choking on a
No, I had
hairball.
something stuck in my throat. It happens when you have acid reflux.
So, all right, we're getting back on track here. What I was kind of mumbling about is that it was not only terribly embarrassing to run out of wine, but it could have legal consequences because the groom or his family could literally get sued. And it was probably, in most cases, the groom's family would probably sue the groom because he basically like broke the family's reputation. So it was a big issue.
That's not nice.
And it people would basically, like, if you ran out of wine, you were seen as poor. And yeah, it was really bad. So anyways, one thing about God is that God will sometimes work secretly and sometimes he works out in the open. And the difference
Still
is,
does it to this day too.
yes, but like the difference is God's timing, when he decides and how he decides that he is going to work. And so Jesus and his mother and the disciples are at this wedding, and then the wine runs out, and Mary, Jesus's mother, hears about it. And so she kind of like nudges Jesus, and she's like, "Hey, they're out of wine." And depending on your translation, he either says madam or woman, or in my translation he says, "Dear woman, that's not our problem. My time has not yet come." Now, it's kind of funny that Jesus said, "My time has not come." Like, it's not my time to reveal myself, but then he reveals himself. I think that Mary probably thought that he was going to not only fix it, but he was also going to fix it publicly so that everybody could see it. And he's like, this is Jesus did not see this wedding as a coming of the Messiah
No.
party. He obviously was being respectful.
Yep.
And so Jesus does obviously end up working, but he works privately. And there's only a small group of people that know what happened with the wine.
Like that part, like when she was talking, like he was like, "What about?" Mary's asking if he had no wine. What? Like it talks about the what you where? Yeah, like he's like, but she's like, he's like, "We want my time is like coming." I bet, like feeling that she's like staring him, going with a puppy diet, puppy pie, like moms do when
Mhm.
they want help or something. They sit standing and they give you the, and you're like,
Well, remember, people can't see you, so you're not
no,
making any sense, right?
no, like that's why like when you were thinking, like you read it, that's what you picture Mary doing to Jesus.
The little puppy dog
Yeah,
eyes.
and he looks and starts going, okay, or something like he's just like, and does what she says, what she says.
Yeah. Okay, so if we get started reading here so that we stop randomly
You're
mumbling.
just summarizing a little bit of
Yeah,
the first chapter. That's chapter.
and making sure that everybody knows that literally running out of wine was a very serious issue. It shamed the family. It was terribly embarrassing, and like their reputation could literally be ruined. It was a very, very, very serious issue. And so Yeah, so they running out of wine is a very, very, very terrible situation. And it reflects, before we get started on the reading, it actually reflects Jesus's compassion too. Because by performing this miracle in private, he saved this family from being publicly humiliated, um, their reputation being completely destroyed. And he saved them so much embarrassment. Um, and so that shows Jesus's compassion too, because he is right. It wasn't his problem.
He was
But
over there to just
to
have
be a wedding guest.
yeah.
But he still stepped up and
Did a little hit in like okay, let's do this.
yeah.
It's not magic, but or anything like that, or when they do, like people do tricks and stuff. It's just like okay, God, Jesus, like feel that and you go.
Well, we got to remember we're not talking about a sorcerer or anything like that. We're talking about God in a human form.
No,
So,
I'm just saying that he's not like these phony magicians out there, but he's like he was telling people to fill those jars with water, and he just like take that out to the people, and voila, you got wine.
are we ready to read now?
Yes, I'm just saying what he was telling them to do.
Yes. Okay. So, we are in John chapter 2. The next day, there was a wedding celebration in the village of Cana in Galilee. Jesus' mother was there, and Jesus and his disciples were also invited to the celebration. So there it is right there where you said that they were invited. Um, the wine supply ran out during the festivities. Again, this is like World War III. This is a catastrophe at this point. People are panicking.
We need more wine. We're gonna get drunk.
The groom's family, the groom, we don't know for sure if the groom was aware, but the servants, the groom's family, okay, they're panicking at this point behind the scenes because people are realizing their cups are empty. Again, you need enough to last a week, and these people are going through a lot of wine, let's just say that. And okay, so now everyone's cups are empty and there's no more wine left, and we don't exactly know what day of the wedding it is. But we know the wedding's not over yet.
I think it's how many days is for the
1 week.
yeah.
So we don't know what day it was when it ran out, but we just know that it ran out, and
Yeah.
that's no good.
Jewish weddings goes for 1 week. That's pretty much it. That's what Jewish weddings are.
Yes, and so we don't know what day of what
Could be the
day
end,
this
could be
is.
the middle, could be the beginning.
Well, we know it wasn't the end.
Could be in the middle.
We don't know exactly when. But anyway.
No.
Okay, so the wine supply ran out during the festivities, so Jesus' mother told him they have no more wine. So now, verse 4. Dear woman, that's not our problem, Jesus replied. My time has not yet come. So again, Jesus is not making this a Messiah coming out party. He's like, it's not my time to reveal myself publicly yet, which is why he does this first miracle in private. Okay, verse 5. But his mother told the servants, do whatever he tells you. Standing nearby were 6 stone water jars used for Jewish ceremonial washing. Each could hold 20 to 30 gallons. Jesus told the servants, fill up the jars with water. When the jars had been filled, Jesus said, now dip some out and take it to the master of the ceremonies. So the servants followed his instructions. Now, the master of the ceremonies, I believe, was like the party planner, right? Wasn't he like the wedding planner back in the day? So this is what you were talking about. So these I'm trying to find where it says, okay, so these, um, I'm trying to, okay, so these were really, really big jars of water. And like what you were saying, the the Jews, they had rituals, and they still do it even till this day. But they had ritual hand washing and feet washing and stuff that they needed to do before they could eat, and it
Drink.
it's a whole big thing. And so these these jars were empty because obviously people were washing their hands and they were washing their feet and everything like that. So Jesus tells the servants to refill these jars. And so there was 6 of them holding 20 to 30 gallons. When these were full, they held roughly oh brother.
Sorry, people. I have gas.
I don't even think they heard anything. It was just me making a scene. This
Like,
sir's over here farting. Oh, you're such a man. Anyway. So anyway, there was 6 jars. Jesus asked the servants to fill them up. And they held roughly about 120 to 180 gallons.
that's huge.
That's a lot of water. Which
You could take that giant jug of water or a gallon of water, put it in your house. You have to we're running out of water
yeah.
or juice, whatever you put into it in there.
Yeah, so once he turned this into wine, let's just say they had enough wine to go through the rest of the.
Well, they always have to sell the cheap wine before the good wine or the good
Yeah,
wine
that was ideally. Ideally, in most wedding situations, the cheap wine would go out.
first. First or
No, actually, the good wine would go out first.
and then the cheap
And
wine.
then the cheap wine afterwards, because it was reversed at this wedding, because the master of ceremonies, like the wedding planner in a sense, we don't know if this was the groom's dad or whoever. It most likely was probably the groom's dad. He says, most of the time you give the cheap wine out first, and then when people have had their fill, you bring out the good no. What are you doing?
I'm looking at something in verse 9.
Well, anyway, I think I mixed that up a little bit, but hey, listen, I'm trying to talk and you're mumbling under the
I was
mic.
looking at it says he called the groom. He usually says bridge groom.
The bridegroom?
Bridegroom, it says groom.
The bridegroom is the groom. It's just another title for groom.
So
But anyway, yeah, so it was reversed at this wedding, where they had all drank the lesser quality wine first, and then the master of ceremonies says, and most of the time, you bring out the good wine first, and then once everybody has had their fill, then you bring out the cheaper stuff for them to sip on. But in this case, you've saved the best wine for last. Jesus, the one thing about this miracle too that I love is that Jesus did not just give them cheap wine. He gave them the best wine that they had ever tasted. So like when Jesus turned the water into wine, he didn't, I don't know nothing about wine, nothing about alcohol, but he did not just give them a cheap wine to tie them over. He gave them like the best quality wine that he could have. And so I think that also shows the compassion, not just the compassion that Jesus had, but also the generosity of God. Like God, like there are so many times where God could give us far less than what we deserve, but he also gives us
enough to.
Can I finish my sentence? There are so many times where God can give us like low quality of things, but he gives us the best quality of things. Like, it's hard for me to describe, but this is a good enough example. Like, he could have given him a cheap wine, like a cheap watered down tasting wine, but he gave them the best quality wine that is in existence. So it just shows the generosity of God. Um so anyway,
Do you know the reason why they? You know, oh, there it goes. Do you know the reason why they give out the cheap wine first and then the good wine?
so people could get drunk off of that and sip on the cheap stuff afterwards.
Exactly, and yeah,
I,
like with it with wine, it takes years and years for it to process to make it like be old and really rich.
mhm.
That's what
Jesus gave
did.
them.
Did it in like in 2 seconds, and it's like this with how they age the wine.
Yeah.
I dropped my pen.
So, oh my goodness, you're moving my chair.
You move my chair.
Okay, so anyway, Jesus told the servants. Okay, so I'm gonna re-skim over this. Um. Okay, so at this point, Jesus he turns the water into wine. We've already read this part, but he turns the water into wine, and he tells the servants, take some out and bring it to the master of the ceremonies. Now verse 9, when the master of ceremonies tasted the water that was now wine, not knowing where it had come from, though of course the servants knew, he said, no, he called the bridegroom over. He said, a host always serves the best wine first. He said, then when everyone has had a lot to drink, he brings out the less expensive wine. You have kept the best until now. This miraculous sign at Cana in Galilee was the first time Jesus revealed his glory, and his disciples believed in him. And after the wedding, he went to Capernaum for a few days with his mother and his brothers and his disciples. And there's my phone giving its 2 cents worth.
Oh, let's talk about the email popped up.
I know. I gotta mute this, though. I don't want this screeching at us. Okay. So now we start getting into the part that you get a kick out of. So what would you like to say about this part? So now Jesus is in Capernaum, and it's nearly the time for the Passover. And so now Jesus travels to Jerusalem, where where Jews would go to celebrate the Passover. They would go to worship in the temple and offer sacrifices. So, I mean, this was a normal trip that Jesus had been making his whole life. But then he sees something. This time is different. What does he see? Go ahead and prove, and go ahead and take over.
People selling, trading, and buying animals for like the offerings and stuff like that. Yeah. And
Yeah.
And he didn't like it, so he created he built himself a whip. And he was it called? I think at this moment, I think he was looking around. He had holy rage.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't like seeing his temple being what's it called?
Turned
into
into
a
a
marketplace. So
Yeah.
he started driving out the change, like the people would sell money, like they had a different currency, change money out and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
He drives out the tries what's it called? Take the animals and stuff, makes the animals fly away or run away, and then they takes the table, one of yeet, and he flips the table. Mike
Flips multiple tables.
A lot of tables. And my question: what if you were there at the time when Jesus was doing this? What would you think about that?
If I didn't know he was the Messiah, I would have thought he was crazy and probably ran away. Shrieking.
I think everyone will think that. He's like, why is he nuts? Does he need to go to somewhere else? But the point is, he was doing it because he did not like anybody selling and trading stuff in in his father's house. It's like kind of like what's going on in our lifetime right now. What churches are doing it right now are selling goods and stuff in at a church.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was thinking about when you were saying it, because so many churches, and even the church that
You grew up with.
I grew up going to, yeah. And they might have even been doing it when mama was little. But hi mama. Anyway, they I'm trying to get back on track. The church that I grew up going to um would do they would do church fairs twice a year, and people would sell things at the fair. And I mean, this is what my Grammy and Nana did this for many years. They would make crafts to sell at at the church fairs. But it makes me think about how Jesus actually felt about that, because essentially, you know, we were buying and selling goods
That,
in the church, on the church lawn.
that was not meant to be
Um
there.
and then like the Christmas one then was moved to the town hall, which was across the street. But the summer one was still on like at the church, because the yard was bigger and
Mhm.
they could fit all the tents and stuff. But it makes me wonder like how Jesus felt about it, because we were buying and selling goods at on his
Yep.
property. And of course that's not the only church that does it. There's so many churches that do it nowadays.
There's so
We
many.
have a church across the street from us that does it too.
Yeah.
And it it
And again,
God makes his thoughts on church yard sales, church fairs, whatever it may be. He makes his thoughts on them clear in this section of the chapter, because Jesus sees a first century church fair, and he just rages out. And I mean, like you said, he's throwing tables. And I don't think that he was hitting
no,
people
I
with the
think he
whips
was
or
just going like
anything.
this
I
and
think I
cracking
think
it.
he probably was cracking it on the wood, like above the pens and stuff like that. I mean, certain animals like donkeys and stuff, you kind of have to use a
They're
whip to get
stubborn.
them to move.
Unless
Yeah,
you hit them with a bat.
so I'm sure he probably was like whipping at them and stuff, because they wouldn't move any other way.
Will they be
But
selling donkeys at the temple?
no, probably not. But the point is that he probably would have only used it on the animals if they would
I think
not
with
move.
sheep and stuff like that.
Yeah. But anyway, what else, what other things were you saying?
Well, they like in our lifetime, we have we have a couple of churches around here who do, even one that we are close to that does the same stuff that
Mhm.
Jesus doesn't like. It's like if Jesus was here in our century and he saw them doing selling and buying and selling stuff out the churches that are around here, he wouldn't like that.
No.
Even with even like other things that he wouldn't like and stuff like that. But point of that clearing out the temple is just saying don't use my house as a like of a was it don't turn my father's house into a marketplace.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then like the was it, I think the Pharisees yeah, like the Jews replied,
Do you want me to read it and then you can just chime in when you get points?
what will you show us in for doing these things? And Jesus goes, I'll destroy this temple and pretty much is just saying that he's saying his temple means his body.
Well,
Yeah,
should we read it
yeah, we should
first?
get that pretty much in that one that we're going out of line.
You're going way too ahead.
I know. I'm
Although,
excited
hold
because I
on.
like that one too.
I know, but we can start reading and then you can chime in when you get thoughts, or we both can. How's that sound? So, okay, verse 13. It was nearly time for the Jewish Passover celebration. So Jesus went to Jerusalem. In the temple area, he saw merchants selling cattle, sheep, and doves. Yeah, so I mean, it makes sense. Like the cattle, maybe if the cattle wouldn't move or something, could whip at them. Um, for so he saw the merchants selling the cattle, sheep, and doves for sacrifices. He also saw dealers at tables exchanging foreign money. Now, Jerusalem during Passover was flooded with pilgrims from everywhere. Jews from everywhere would travel to Jerusalem. Jews from everywhere would travel to Jerusalem for Passover so that they could worship in the temple and offer sacrifices. And it's so much so that when Jesus was little, there was actually when Mary and Joseph brought him to the temple for Passover, they because they were coming from Nazareth, they would have more than likely traveled in a caravan, which back in those days it was like a train of wagons with with people's donkeys and stuff like that, and a lot of the people probably would have walked beside it, and then like the women and the children would probably have ridden inside. um this mister over here, oh my goodness, anyway.
At least it's the toot, not the burp.
Anyway. Anyway, so Jerusalem would have been a hotspot for pilgrims. And so they would come from wherever countries they were coming from, and they would have, it's like nowadays where like each country has a different currency of money. So people would travel to Jerusalem, and they would have to swap out their foreign money for the Israel currency, which I think was the denarii. And so yeah, so you basically, in a sense, you have merchants or like people with booths up, and they're selling these animals for sacrifices. And then you also have the people who are doing the money exchange. They're taking the currency, they're taking the money from the foreigners, and they're exchanging their money from their country to denarii so that they can buy things in Israel. And till this day, modern day Israel has money exchanger booths for that same exact purpose, because people still flood to Jerusalem even nowadays. It's a very common tourist attraction among Christians, Jews, and even Muslims, which, we're not going to talk about that. But anyway, but anyway, so yeah, they're exchanging money, and they're selling animals and everything like that, and there's a lot going on. There's probably people yelling at each other because
Or fighting.
People are trying to rip others off, and it's just, there's a lot of chaos going on. And then
Fights and fraud.
yeah, exactly. So there's a lot going on. And um so anyway, yeah, so
We have a question.
what?
If when we read it was when the first part of when he cleaned out the temple, it says Jewish Passover. Some people don't know what that is. The Jewish Passover. Should we
We already have an episode on it.
we should just give them like a little summary of what is the Passover.
Well, the Passover is a long story, so go back to our episode. No, because we're already at 40 minutes. Um, What I would say though is because there are certain things that the main reason why I'm not like digging into the Passover is because we have an episode right here on our podcast. Um when you go on our channel and you go underneath our podcast tabs, we have a whole episode that we did on it. And so it's kind of hard to, in order to sum up what the Passover is, I would have to like go back into the entire story. But see, I guess summarizing it would be,
I can summarize it. It's really easy.
I know, but it's also not what we're talking about today.
But the people, some people
Go back to the
if
episode.
some people come in, join in the episode, don't know our other podcast episodes about what's the Passover, and then you just it's not
And that's why a lot of times when you see and like I promise 100% it is not me trying to be hateful. It's just for the sake of time. This is why other content creators though, like when they make a video later on and something that they've already addressed comes up, they'll normally tell you to go back to the other video. And I mean, we can link that in the description, but they normally will send people back to either the other part before it or one of the other videos they've done or something, because for the sake of time, it's a lot better for them to just go back and watch that episode or read in Exodus. um Read it, and we gotta find it in Exodus.
I
But
think it's just the past, like I think the last plague, I think it is.
so since this mister is not gonna stop squawking at me until I give a summary, um basically, and if you want the full story, then yes, please go back to the podcast, because we're, for the sake of time, I'm going to summarize it. But essentially, when Moses was trying to get the Pharaoh to let the Israelites go who were being enslaved in Egypt, God sends 10 plagues. And um each plague was meant to mock one of the Egyptian gods or goddesses. And so anyways, the last plague that God sent was going to kill every firstborn in the land of Egypt. Rather, it was people or livestock or whatever. It was the firstborn of everything. Every animal, every person, it didn't matter. The firstborn of everything was going to be killed. So God told Moses to tell the Israelites that and they had to choose an animal. It was either, I think it was either like a lamb or like a lamb or a goat or something, and then they had to take care of it until God told them it was time to kill it, and then they would kill it and they were to eat it that night. And what God said was, take the blood from that animal, drain the blood from the animal, and then paint it on the doorpost of your door, because I'm going to send an angel of death who is going to kill every firstborn. And when the angel sees the blood on your door, he's gonna pass over your house.
That's what it's called.
So
Passover.
so basically, yeah, so since Mister would not leave me alone until I summarized it, that's the basic summary. But if you want the full story and the scripture readings
We're
and
linking
stuff,
in the description.
yeah, we did a whole episode on it. But yes, so that happened a few thousand years before Jesus even walked the earth. But Jews commemorated it every year, and I do believe that that was a commandment from God. And they still do till this day. Like even thousands of years later, Jews still celebrate the Passover every single year. Christians have kind of gotten lazy.
They should not be lazy.
Yeah, Christians don't celebrate a lot of holidays, a lot of Jewish holidays, even though Christianity technically was
It's a
born
branch.
out of Judaism, and that's the truth. But anyway, so yeah, but the Passover is a yearly celebration. And so that's why they're in Jerusalem right now, because Jerusalem was the main place of worship and sacrifice, and it was where God's holy temple was. So yeah, so right now Jesus, obviously, he walks into the temple and he sees all the pilgrims from surrounding countries are here. They're exchanging their money into the denarii so that they can buy sheep and doves and stuff to sacrifice. So Jesus is watching them exchange money, and he's watching them selling animals, fighting over animals. It's chaos. And then Jesus gets holy rage and then decides he's going to add to the chaos. And
he did the right way.
yeah. And so verse 15, Jesus made a whip from some ropes and chased them out of the temple. So he's chasing the animals, he's chasing people. He drove out the sheep and the cattle and scattered the money changers' coins over the floor and turned over their tables. So he is absolutely holy raging out. He is literally throwing their money bags and stuff all over the place, and he's taking the tables and he's tipping them over, and he's chasing everybody and every animal out. Like, he is absolutely causing a scene at this point. And it's holy rage. The difference between like regular rage and holy rage is that regular rage is typically fueled by pride and sin, whereas Jesus's rage was because of his devotion to holiness and to his father's house. And we'll read about that further on, a couple verses from now. But anyway, verse 16, then going over to the people who sold doves, he told them, get these things out of here. Stop turning my father's house into a marketplace. And here's the one I was talking about, verse 17. Then his disciples remembered this prophecy from scripture. Passion for God's house will consume me. So he was not fueled by pride or a love for violence or anything like most people are when they rage out. It was his passion for God's house. It consumed him, and when he saw people doing unholy things in the temple, he was overcome by anger. And okay, verse 18. But the Jewish leaders demanded, what are you doing? If God gave you authority to do this, show us a miraculous sign to prove it. All right, Jesus replied, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up. What? They exclaimed. It has taken 46 years to build this temple, and you can rebuild it in 3 days? But when Jesus said this temple, he meant his own body. After he was raised from the dead, his disciples remembered that he had said this, and they believed both the scriptures and what Jesus had said. So this is basically, you could say that this is Jesus's first prophecy of his death and his resurrection. I think I'm gonna save the second part to go along with with chapter 3. Yeah. But was there anything else you wanted to say about that?
Yes, like when he was talking about destroying the temple, he raised him raising in 3 days. Like he said, it's not the temple, it's his body. But we will get to that part when we get to like the crucifixion and resurrection. But we can talk.
We have an episode on that too,
Yeah, but we're going through the entire Gospel of John. So
yeah, that's
so
absolutely
basically,
right.
it's prophesying he's gonna go on the cross for us, die for us, and rose from the dead, so we can be saved from our sin and from yeah to yeah save sin from death through Jesus and stuff like that. There's another prophecy he's talking about. Also, I think it's in one of the like gospels about his, and see this like Peter's asking like look at the smaller stones and stuff, and he said, and Jesus goes, see these rocks, they won't be like on top of another, be thrown down. That's the prophecy of destruction of the temple in 70 80 70. I think yes, whatever.
So yeah,
70.
70 AD.
Yeah,
Yeah,
70
because
80.
with the Romans went bananas and raided
Yeah.
the temple and stuff.
Pretty much that's what that is within that little context there. There's another one that she wants to leave it for the third episode with Nicodemus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one too.
Mm-hmm. But
And,
if you well, then scroll through. Would you like? Okay. Well, anyway.
It's just summarizing up the what we read and we were talking about. So it's just saying what Jesus did. He eat tables and he's talking about his body,
tables.
his body and stuff. It kind of
I actually think
it kind of reminds me of like I watch like I watch a YouTuber that does it for fun, but I think he does it because he representation of Jesus, what he did in the temple, like flipping tables and throwing tables and stuff like that, or like he just takes the table and flips it. You know what I'm talking about, right? The YouTuber will always watch it. You're not crazy about Mr. Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He does. I think he symbolizes Jesus, what Jesus did in the temple. That he goes, just eats it.
I don't like him because, like, not him personally. I don't have anything against him. I just don't like the content. But anyway,
I just like his intros. They're funny.
To be honest, I think that I will reread the Passover just simply because we have a little extra time, and I know the Mister wants me to.
We don't have to. We can just save that for an.
Well, we got a little bit of extra time too. No, you know what? We'll wait.
We can. Would you want to add a question or something that I can think about in this chapter that might help them try to get close to God and stuff? I know.
I can see.
Because I know I did one question. What was the podcast? I said one question about.
I have some questions here. It says
You can like one or two. That'd be fine. Because I know, like in one of the podcasts, I did ask a question about.
These are the good ones here.
About like a certain thing, how like, are you fully all in God or not? Something like that.
So I guess, yeah. So.
Well, you have a question.
I guess before we.
Ow.
And again, like I was saying earlier, and like I'll tell you this, and I'll also tell our viewers this. Just because I feel the need to explain myself.
You don't have to.
No. So earlier when I didn't want to read, like I didn't want to talk about the Passover again, it was not because I was trying to be mean or anything like that. It was because I was worried that we were going to run out of time because it is quite a detailed story, yeah. And so it wasn't until I actually tried to summarize it that I was able to summarize it enough. But that was why I didn't want to at first. I know it probably sounded a little bit stubborn, but it was simply just because I thought we were going to run out of time. But it turns out we didn't. So it all worked out. But if you want a more detailed like study of it, then definitely check out our podcast episode on it that we did
because
on the actual Passover day.
we did like the 10 plagues.
Yeah.
We did like I think did we do like
No,
the full?
we didn't do a study on the 10 plagues yet. We want to
We should do
at
that
some point.
after.
Yeah, but right now we're working through John, and then we'll go from there and see if we want to do any of the other gospels. But
my like one of the was it one of the plagues it was it the one of the gods that they were like God like to mock. It was the one with the frogs come out of the water. It reminds it like I was watching a pastor was talking about that. He goes, it's kind of it's she's like, okay, you if you like okay you like okay you like frogs, here you go, and you take a stick with it, goes
actually, that might be a cool idea. To do at some point, like next at some point next week, maybe do a little mini podcast
like take a break
episode.
from John and then do that little mini one.
Well, no, not necessarily take a break from John, because we've been doing our John podcast episodes. Like we we spaced it out a week, so like we released an episode this week, so like next week we won't have one up for John, and then the following week we will. So
it's like a little mini one in the middle.
Yeah. So like a little mini one in the middle,
and
then we can
tackle
study that. That would be fun.
Tackle the 10 plagues and why God we'll call it.
And it gives us more ministry work to do, which is good.
It's like because it's the reason why God did. He's like, okay, you like frogs? Here you go. Because there's like 10 different gods for in Egypt that God's like, okay, you like the frogs? Here you go. Here's this.
I think the frogs were mocking like some sort of goddess of fertility and childbirth or something like that. Yeah.
Because I think it was like I think when Moses' mother sent him down the ocean or down the river, that was like that goddess for fertility for kids or something like that.
Yeah. But anyway.
Like
But anyway. So discussion questions. So as we get ready to wrap things up, we'll send you guys with just a few questions to think on. Nobody's giving you homework. It's just if you want to think on them. So question number 1 is, what areas of your life are you hesitant to invite Jesus into?
There's a lot of people that are like going, oh, there's a lot of places that I want Jesus to be going to.
Yeah. Who or what do you turn to first when facing a problem instead of Jesus?
Me is YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, I tend to use YouTube too as a distraction.
Computer, phone, video games, and other things. Distractions.
Yeah. Well, no, you don't. What other things?
Legos, my Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Ellis.
Yeah. I mean, those are just that is true. Like, I mean, there's a difference between like learning. There's a difference between just enjoying your hobbies and then using them
way over. You should be using them.
Yeah, using them to like tune God out.
If you're playing like a video game for like 6 hours straight, and you say, "Oh, I spent God. How many hours does you spend with my God? 1 hour. How is that priority?"
Yeah, but then also, like I was telling you before, Jesus and this is something that I want to make clear, because like, for example, with my mama, my mama,
she likes our podcast.
Yeah.
Hi.
I love you, Mama. My mama is a very busy lady, and she's got a lot on her plate right now. I'm not going to speak Mama's business on this episode,
it's between you and your mama.
Mama's got a lot going on right now, and Mama has faced a lot of hard life events in a short time. Being a busy mama, or just a busy person in general, I don't want people to think that God does not value any, like, that God doesn't value time with you. And, like, I'm trying to figure out how to word it. I'm so bad at wording things.
I'm too.
I don't want people who are busy to think that God does not appreciate any time that you give him. So, like, if you can only give God 30 minutes
That's
on
fine.
a particular day because you are so busy, or even 15, even 10, even 5, God values, and I've told you this too, God values the quality of
Over
the
quantity.
time over the quantity. So if you give God a good 10 minutes, 5 minutes, even maybe a 2-minute prayer, if you give God a good, like a good few minutes, that's more value than than 4 hours when half of the time you're not even engaged and you're just kind of in la la land.
Well,
So
like you can, what's it called? Be busy, but you don't want to be too busy to the point that you have no time for God.
yeah,
You can make time, like if you work and you have like
audio Bible.
audio Bible, or like you have a break or lunch, sit down, listen to your audio Bible, put some headphones in, listen to your audio Bible. You have time right there. And
Yeah.
if you're outdoors and
We
you're like at work outdoors and stuff, and you have your car, or what are it called? They have for
Yeah, but what would we say to people like Mama though that have 2 screaming kids all day?
tell
Tell
your
them to simmer
tell
down.
your mother that
You tell her. She's
if you have time, if you want time for Jesus, tell him go in the room and put a chair in front of the door.
Oh no, that's mean. That's mean. You're listen here, mister.
What, I'm just saying, if you need time alone, time with God, go outside, sit outside and read your Bible outside, or listen to the Bible thing outside. Or also, if you are following us on our podcast, you're still getting Jesus.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how you do it. But I'm saying, if you need time to spend time with God, find a place that is quiet, away from noise. If you can't, then how about go sit in the car?
Poor mama said to me the other day that she just barely like watched our other episode because the kids are driving her crazy.
Well, like I said, if you need time to place to listen to the podcast, go in your car.
But then the kids follow her.
Lock the door.
Mama!
The point is, you can find ways to spend time with God,
Even
even
if it's just a couple
if you have
minutes.
kids. You tell your kids, go in the room and play with their toys, or watch on their tablets or something.
Yeah. That is true. And then I have one more question.
Oh no.
What step of obedience is God asking you to take without knowing the end? So without knowing the outcome, the ending outcome. The thing about the one of the scariest things about being a Christian is
Yes.
surrender, because
You
God can see the end,
see
but
your future.
we cannot. So what
It's
steps of obedience is God asking you to take, even though you don't know the outcome?
It's kind of like, what is stopping you coming to Jesus,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
fully dedicated to Jesus.
And what's God asking you to do so that you can grow closer to Him?
It's like with like me. That's a good question. Like, I'm thinking about it, I'm like what is like stopping me coming towards God? Me to me was like watching YouTube and playing video games.
Yeah,
That's
mine.
why I haven't played Minecraft for a while, because I was like, I play when I feel like playing it, because I'm trying to dedicate my entire time to the podcast and trying to get the notes and stuff together.
Yeah.
Even watch YouTube, I'm trying to figure out how to balance that out. But right now, it's just takes some. It takes time when you when you become a Christian, you have stuff you like doing, you want to break the habit. Just takes small steps and have God help you with them.
Yeah, and it does take discipline. Like with me, my biggest conviction is my cell phone.
Same
Um,
here.
so well, you use your computer a lot more than your cell phone. But like if your computer is off,
was I think one of my statistics on my I don't remember what was on Xbox or guess how many hours I play Minecraft.
a lot.
178 hours.
Yeah, but like on your phone, you don't really do a lot on there.
I
So
well every time I want to play, you're like, why are you on your phone? I'm like, I want to.
no, point of that is
Just display yourself.
no. The funny thing is the answers you give back though. I'm checking the weather. Do you mind?
Exactly. And what you do? What else you doing? Playing Pokemon Go. What else? I don't know. Anything else is on here? I'm just searching, looking news articles. I don't know.
Yeah. And that's exactly how it is with me too. Mindless scrolling. Mindless scrolling. The notifications that pop up on your devices continuously are meant to keep you attached to it. So like that's why your phone sends you so many notifications.
It's annoying.
And so it's meant to keep you on there. And so what I've been trying to do is definitely cut back a
You
lot.
always used to like to put on do not disturb or put on
I
unplug.
still do. I still do kind of, but I also like to be available for family. You don't answer your phone, so your phone is
That's
useless.
the point.
Your phone is useless. No, but I try not to keep it on do not disturb because I want people to be able to reach me.
I know, but
The only time I'll turn it on do not disturb is like if I'm praying or if we are reading our Bible. But then again, it's on a short timer because
like you
I
always
don't.
put 15 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, around that because
Yeah, you can start.
and
Just
I
start
and
small.
and for my family that is watching, I do keep an eye on it either way, so I'm still reachable. It does not like contacting me on Messenger, it's still going to put it's still going to put the no, it won't make any noise.
That's Facebook Messenger. Never mind.
Yeah, no, but that's the whole point. That is the messenger I'm talking about. It won't make a noise, but it'll still the notification will still pop up on my screen. But I try not to keep it on for very long just so that people can reach me. But sometimes if the notifications are too distracting, I will for a short time on a short timer. But my family but anyway,
That'd be a good
mine
sorry.
Mine is definitely cell phone discipline. A majority of my cell phone time is spent either on YouTube or like playing my phone games.
Heyday.
Yeah. So I've been trying, like, what I've been doing this past week is really trying to discipline myself on my cell phone. So, like, I'm still using my cell phone. I can still watch YouTube and stuff like that, but I'm trying to cut back on the amount of time I spend on it. And so like I have a I have two YouTube accounts.
I have
And
3.
one of them, yeah, but you don't use the
One's
third one.
dead.
You only use 2 of them though.
We didn't get
Well, no, 3 because you are right because of this one, but
no, my dolphin crab is dead. I haven't used that one for a long time.
except for watching stuff.
Watching stuff. My Psalms 23 gaming was for Let's Plays and stuff. I'm taking a break from that, so that's gonna be dead.
I thought you wanted to do a Let's Play this week.
I'm gonna do a Let's Play. I'm just gonna think of idea to help make it fun.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm just not worrying about that right now.
But
and then this one is a podcast where I'm doing that with that. That'd be a cool challenge for people to do. Like,
I didn't get to
oh,
finish
I can't
the
finish, honey. Okay.
what I was
Sorry,
saying is
people.
what I was saying is I have two YouTube accounts. And yes, I'm turning on the Xbox because I want to listen to live worship after.
Well, there go that idea.
What?
That, hey, Xbox says just ruin the podcast.
Now you're gonna get a copyright strike
Mm.
because it made the Xbox noise.
Copyright strike. Xbox noise. Not my fault. My wife put it on.
Anyway,
Don't worry about it. We
anyway,
can have some funny in it.
I have been trying to use. I have two YouTube accounts. One of them I just watch random stuff, random lady videos, you know, vloggers, whatever, random stuff. And then I have another account where it is and did you have to do that in the microphone? Oh my goodness. Cut.
We can't cut.
Cut the scene.
We can't cut it because no one's over.
Anyway,
hey, your sister
wouldn't be us if we were.
Your sister likes that burps and farts. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyway. So my other YouTube account is the feed on it is entirely Jesus related and Bible related. There's like Bible studies and Jesus videos, and so I've been trying lately to spend more time on that one than the other one where I'm just watching random videos. So that's been part of my discipline too, because it's like if I'm gonna watch YouTube, I want to watch stuff that's going to actually fuel me. It's just simple little disciplines like that. And you can start off even as simple as saying, okay, well, before, like if you're busy, like if you're a mother, for example, or just anybody who's busy, you could say, okay, I'll use being a mother as an example. You could say, okay, well, I'm going to spend time with God for 5 minutes before the kids wake up. And or before I have to go to work or whatever. And even just that small little bit of discipline, spending time with God while you're having your morning cup of coffee or whatever, because, we don't drink coffee, but just
I drink water.
Finding small little pockets of time during the day to either, even if it's just say a small little prayer. Like, thank you, Jesus, for waking me up this morning. Thank you, Jesus, for my children. Thank you, Jesus, for my roof over my head. Something like that. Those prayers all count. And those little pockets of time add up at the end of the day. So that's my advice is discipline.
Mm-hmm. It'd be good, cool. It'd be a good challenge for people to try to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like when like a child, what would be the challenge? Be like when you wake up in the morning, what your first thing you do when you first wake up in the morning?
The very first thing I do?
Like when you first the first thing you always grab when you first wake up in the morning?
Well, here's the thing with me. And I could find a way to alter this. But the very first thing that I grab in the morning, I'm not going to lie, is my phone. But the very first thing I open on my phone is the Bible app and I read the Bible verse of the day. But what I was just thinking is what I also could do is, because we stay up late, we stay up past midnight. When it hits midnight, I could take an index card and write the Bible verse of the day on that index card and then have it for the morning. So when I wake up, I grab that index card first.
Yep. My challenge.
So like little things like that.
My challenge for everyone to do is like, what is one thing or whatever things is hindering, like making you not come close to come like fully follow God or follow Jesus? What is one hindering you?
And what's God?
What is
What act of obedience is God asking you to do
yeah
to
if
achieve that?
yeah if you have like if you have problems with your phone or YouTube or whatever you spend most of your time is, find a way to discipline yourself. Like maybe set timers like you do, like 15 minutes a day playing a game, and then you get up and do something else.
Mm-hmm.
That's the challenge is to set timers on what you mostly use your whatever maybe like your phone, your Xbox, your computer, your game systems, whatever one is making you not come not obedience to God. Set timers on it. Like if you play video games, play it an hour or 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Start small and then work your way up to eventually don't want to play anymore. Just focus on God more.
Yeah.
I know God wants us to have hobbies, but He just wants us to make them an idols to the point that who cares about God? Let's play this video game.
Yeah.
I have done that before. It's not fun.
Yeah.
So yeah. Sorry for that little interruption of the Xbox. That's what we are. We are nuts and all that stuff. So
but
what?
Live worship.
Yep. And also
He's like, yo.
Yep. And also please think about your time on the earth as well, because your life is like a flower. It grows up and grows away and it dies. So let's make the time most of it. Like if you like to do outdoor activities, go outside, bike, walk, and enjoy the day, because these material things, not gonna you can't bring them with you. They are gonna stay here and collect dust.
And you're gonna spend eternity somewhere.
Yeah, we already have that out. Like we have pockets for heaven and hell and stuff. People that don't put prioritize God, and then they meet God or Jesus face to face, and Jesus will say two things: "Welcome, faithful servant," or "Depart me, I never knew you." You don't
Those
want
are scary.
You don't want to be it. You don't want to be the second one.
No.
Because no, that should give you the second one. That should smarten you up. Like, yeah, I don't want to go to hell because it's not a good place. We talked about hell. We talked about heaven. We're doing right now. It's just going through the Gospel of John, and we're having fun and enjoying it. Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So.
Oh brother.
These guys That's Mariah's in your little catch thing.
Yeah.
So
she's funny.
The point is, just please make sure you spend more time off of technology and more time in the world, and spend time with your family and enjoy life and follow Jesus. We're not forcing you. If you watching the podcast and you are thinking about being a Christian or not, we're not forcing you to become a Christian. We just letting you know there is a place that's called hell that you'll go if you're not on God's side. Because it's like, for example, like when you're like what was that I forgot, when you have two sides, like you have two teams, like two teams. You got Satan's team, you got God's team, and you're in the middle. Technically, there's no middle. So technically, if you're not for God, you're against God. If you're for God, you're against Satan. So basically, make an effort to follow Jesus. If you want to know Jesus, then welcome to our podcast. We're going through the book of John with us. So yeah, come and join us. If you want to ask, you need questions about John or about what is a Christian all about. If you have a church nearby, please talk to the pastor and ask questions there, because pastor will know.
And you can also
more stuff than we're just.
No, they can ask us in the comments too, and we'll do our best to help.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah, but if they want more like in what we call I don't know. It's like some people like I don't know.
Now
Yeah.
you're mumbling.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah, Mom.
clean your desk. Look at that
Ew.
dust.
The point is, we can talk to you about become how you become a Christian and stuff like that. That's where that's just what.
That's what I would say to you, mister, is don't doubt your ability. Like we're not supposed to hide when God sends us new believers. So don't doubt your ability. The Holy Spirit will give you the words that you need in order to guide people.
Yeah, the
And if you don't have the answer to a question,
just like-
then you tell them to
yeah.
contact a pastor.
Well, the thing is, we're
Hey, clean your desk. That's dusty.
and if you like, we want to follow along with us on the John Gospel. Well, come and join us. We're gonna have some funny moments. We're gonna have some burps and some flatulence too, and maybe an Xbox, and now a hiccup, and maybe an Xbox and probably popping up some point at the end.
But
So
now we're mumbling.
yeah, we are. So we're gonna go ahead and end it now. Thank you so much for watching or listening. I'm sorry, but yeah, listening. See you guys next time. My bad.
Bye.
Bye. I gotta play to music for the bit.